It's time for me to update my NFL playoff predictions here in Week 11. Every playoff team, every round, and who will win the Super Bowl. Let's predict it. Predicting the NFC playoff teams, I have the Rams getting the 1 seed. This very easily could be the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing just as well as the Rams right now. They play each other this week. I'm just thinking the Rams are going to finish slightly better at the end of the year and edge out the Seattle Seahawks for the 1 seed. 2, I have the Eagles. Was a little hesitant with this because we're still learning how good can the Eagles offense get. They're struggling at times. The play calling could be an issue, the whole A.J. Brown situation, but the defense is improving, and while they do have some tough matchups coming up, there are quite a few matchups that seem pretty simple for Philadelphia. Even if they slip up, don't play their best, they should still win those games and have a really good record. 3, the Detroit Lions, which you could flip them, and the Eagles, they play each other this week. Is the Lions offense getting better with Dan Campbell taking over as a play caller? We're still learning that, but a very solid team that should finish with a really good record. How do they do against the Vikings and the Packers the next time around? They struggled last time, but I'm confident with them potentially winning that division and finishing with a top 3 seed. 4, Tampa winning the NFC South, which shouldn't really be a surprise, but they are cooling off right now. I think they'll turn the corner at some point, figure it out, and get a top 4 seed. The 5 seed, Seattle, they could easily get that 1 seed. They're balling out right now. How will they finish? There will be some questions about them in the playoffs. Darnold, that offensive line, is it going to be like Darnold in the Vikings offensive line last year? It feels much different, a very balanced, good team that could end up with the 1 seed. The 6 seed, I have the Green Bay Packers. They're slumping a little bit right now, but it's such a good defense even while they're slumping, and you know the offense will turn the corner. They could get Jaden Reed back. Josh Jacobs still balling out. They'll finish by making the playoffs. And the 7 seed could be a battle. I have the 49ers squeaking in, but the Chicago Bears are kind of controlling their own path right now with a really good record. How will they be when they start to play tougher teams? The Niners, if they get healthier, will they be even better? These two teams will play each other towards the end of the year. That could decide everything here. Could the Bears be sneaky and make the playoffs? I could see it. Speaking of the Bears, these predictions are brought to you by
Bear Mattress.
If you're looking to improve your sleep and find that perfect mattress to watch some football in, head over to bearmattress.com/Goathouse and use code GOATHOUSE for a whopping 40% off your Bear mattress. This offer beats anything on site, so check them out while you can. Let me go ahead and break down my personal experience for you. Is that
down? Yeah,
all
break
right?
it down.
First, went over to bearmattress.com. They have a quiz for you to take. Only a few questions. Size of the mattress you're looking for. Some sleep preferences. If you like a soft mattress, if you like it medium, if you like it firm, if you sleep on your side, your back, etc. Boom! It tells you exactly what mattress is perfect for you. It told me Elite Hybrid. So that's what I went with. I trusted and went with what it recommended, and definitely well worth it. But let me get to that shipping. It ships free as long as you're within the U.S. Got here fast, and you saw the box.
Yep,
I was expecting it to come in some huge mattress box, would not be able to fit through the door. Gonna have to get a bunch of guys over to carry it in. Not the case. I was mind blown by the size box, a very small box it was in. Couldn't wait to unbox it. Went inside, did that. It's rolled up, very easy to unwrap. And then once you unwrap it, it was pretty cool. It self-inflates, and then boom, it's ready to roll. Like I said, I got the Elite Hybrid. It's super soft. I mean, it's elite. I give it a comparison of Matthew Stafford right now. I mean,
Wow.
he's the MVP right now. We got some season left, but love this mattress. Since I got it, since I've been sleeping in it, have slept very, very well. Some people complain about their old mattresses and back pain. I'm more of a neck pain. It's more of my back neck, if that makes sense. Back neck pain.
That's a real thing.
Knock on some wood with me. This is wood. Since I've been sleeping in the Bear mattress, no neck pain, so loving that. The biggest thing for me, what I hate more than anything I actually hate it more than if my Vikings lose, if I wake up super hot or sweaty in the middle of the night, has not been the case with my Bear mattress, and that's not a coincidence because they use Salient powered fabric in their mattresses to keep you cool. Going forward, in the future, if I ever need a mattress, I am most definitely using Bear Mattress. Why would I go shopping somewhere, testing out mattresses that other people have been on? Such a hassle. I know this is quick, easy, and well worth it. I'm using Bear Mattress. I'm going to kick it to you.
So Bear Mattress is a premium fiberglass-free mattress. It upgrades your sleep quality. All the Bear mattresses are made without the use of any chemicals.
Huge.
Which is huge. I know it's one of those things that the older you're getting, that it's important to watch what you're putting in your body and how you're treating your body. Chemical free is the way to be. Bear Mattress has a limited lifetime warranty, has a 120-night sleep trial. It's up to 3 months of sleep. You're not going to need that. I guarantee it. You're going to be 1-2 nights like, hey, this is the mattress for me. You said you like it soft. I'm a firm guy.
You're a firm guy.
Very firm. I'm also a back sleeper. You're a side sleeper. Some differences, but it doesn't matter.
I remember you telling me you're more than a back sleeper. There's a little more to it than a back sleeper.
Yeah, this is true. So I sleep on my back, and I kind of go hands up. I got this notch in the bed frame. Fingertips are locked in. Hands are over my head at all times. And I'm snoozing, and I'm dreaming great, breathing great. Everything is great. Don't shake your head.
Whether you sleep on your side like me or if you sleep a little bit like a lunatic like him, Bear Mattress is the perfect mattress for you. So go over to bearmattress.com/GoatHouse. Use that code GoatHouse for a 40% off deal of a lifetime. You love the Bears.
I love the Bears. I love my Bear Mattress, man.
Thanks, Bear Mattress, for sponsoring this video.
And good night.
This is what the NFC playoff bracket would look like in this scenario. Let's start with that 4-5 battle. Tampa versus Seattle. We saw an entertaining one earlier this year. I don't want to base things off that game because Seattle was missing key guys in the secondary. Bucs missing some key guys here and there. They both could be healthier. I could see Tampa pulling it off at home. Will Seattle be as good of a playoff team as they are a regular season team? I'm going to trust the Seahawks in this one, though. I like their balance and their defense more than Tampa. It'd be a hell of a game. Lions versus Packers. I have the Packers pulling off the upset. The Lions could be a better team against the field in the playoff. Maybe they have more of a chance to make that deeper run. But head-to-head, I like the way Green Bay matches up with them. I want to see that second matchup later this year, obviously. But when the Packers struggle, it's when they play really good defenses. I think their offense will snap out of it, and they'll be able to score points on Detroit. The Packers' defense is still balling out. They're getting pressure. They're stopping the run. When the Lions' offense struggles, it's because they're allowing way more pressure than normal on Goff. The Packers can do that and slow down the run. The matchup sides with Green Bay. And then Eagles-Niners, I have the Eagles pulling it off. But, man, if the Niners get a little healthier, this could be a really close game, a really good game. The Niners potentially could be very sneaky in the playoffs like we've seen in the past because they have a very good coaching staff. So that game could be closer than you think. Then we have the Rams versus the Packers in the next round and the Eagles versus the Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks over the Eagles. Yeah, there's going to be some questions. Will Seattle be as good in the playoffs? Will it be like Darnold in the Vikings offensive line last year once they got to the big games? We've seen that from Clint Kubiak, him start super hot and then his offenses go downhill. But we're in week 11 right now. We're heading into week 11 and it's looking better than ever. So this is a serious team. This is a legit team. And Philadelphia doesn't feel as good as last year. Their whole thing was balanced. They were elite running the ball, elite throwing the ball, elite on defense, and they're not quite there right now. Seattle actually has better balance. Maybe they're Philadelphia from last year. Maybe they don't have quite that elite run game, but they're still solid in that category. I'll trust Seattle, and I'll definitely take the Rams over the Packers. The Packers could have a ceiling without Tucker Kraft and the offense being inconsistent. I'll definitely trust the Rams at home in that one. NFC Championship game is a matchup that we'll see this week in Week 11. NFC West battle, Rams versus Seahawks. And I'm going to trust the experienced Rams in that situation. Seattle could have a ceiling, maybe the lack of experience, but it's a really good balanced team. I'm going to trust, as long as they continue to stay healthy, Matthew Stafford with those elite receivers. Their offensive line's playing well right now. The defense is playing as good as ever. They're stopping the run better than they have in the past. It's kind of what they were missing last year. I guess the linebacker play was the question last year. It could end up being the question and what stops them short in the playoffs. But the NFC doesn't really feel as tough for LA this year as it did last year. So I like them to win the NFC and reach the Super Bowl. The AFC playoff teams. Yes, I have the Chiefs actually getting that 1 seed, even though their record right now heading into week 11 doesn't look all that great. Denver could easily win that division. Those 2 games coming up, one this week, this Sunday, between the Chiefs and the Broncos could be significant. If the Broncos get one of those games, they could win that division and possibly get that 1 seed as well. 2 seed, I got the Patriots. The Patriots are hot right now. Will it keep up? I think it will because they're a good football team on both sides of the ball, but the schedule looks very, very easy, very favorable for the Patriots, on top of them being a very well-coached, very good football team. So I got them getting that 2 seed. 3 seed, the Colts. Maybe they come back down to earth a little bit, but this is still a really good football team that'll continue to play at a high level, and they've built up a good record already from being maybe the best team in football through a certain portion of the season. Again, maybe coming back down to earth a little bit right now, but they're still looking very solid. The 4 seed, we get the Ravens pulling it off over the Steelers and over the Bengals, who could make a push if Joe Burrow comes back. But Baltimore is healthier now, and they're playing much better football, and they're starting to put together a win streak. The 5 seed, the Denver Broncos, who are at the top of the AFC right now, a really good record. Do they start to slip up? They're barely escaping some of these games. Those 2 games against the Chiefs, including one this week, will be huge. They got to get one of those games. They get one of those games, they could win that AFC West and possibly get that 1 seed. And that this is the perfect time for the Chiefs off the bye to kind of turn it around. But this game this week could change playoff predictions everywhere here. But do the Broncos keep this alive, what they have going right now? The 6 seed, it's weird seeing Buffalo in that 6th spot, and I played through so many different scenarios for everybody going throughout the rest of the schedule, the rest of the season, and there was a scenario where the Bills win the rest of their games, which maybe doesn't happen. They have some tough teams on there, and there's some very easy ones on there. They win the rest of their games, and they still don't win that division because the Patriots built up a lead, and they have a way easier schedule than Buffalo the rest of the way. So that is unless there's a meltdown here, that is looking like the Patriots division. But we know what the Bills could do as long as they get into the playoffs, and we all expect them to get in the playoffs. And they're a little cold right now, but they'll turn the corner. Big game against the Bucs this week. And the 7 seed, I have the Chargers getting it. They're too good to not make it. They're putting together a streak right now. Can they win on the road? We'll see that this week. But even with the injuries, Justin Herbert and the collection of weapons, they're balling out. They'll get Amari and Hampton back. I like the schedule for them for the most part going forward. There's a couple tough ones in there. The defense is playing lights out right now. It's tough to leave the Texans out, but they kind of dug themselves a hole at the start of the year. But the defense is the best in football. How could the best defense in football not make the playoffs? So I'm tempted to have them in. It's just, who are they going to be in over? And the offense is playing a little bit better, even with the backup quarterback in there right now. So they could be real sneaky. And this is that time the Steelers could turn it on and sneak into the playoffs like they typically do. The defense is starting to play a little bit better football. The offense got to be both got to be a little more consistent right now. But AFC, the NFC is looking better at the top, but the AFC feels a little deeper. Like, how do you leave the Texans and Steelers out? It's really tough, but you got to pick 7 teams here. This is what I got here heading into week 11. What the AFC playoff bracket would look like in this scenario, let's start at the top. 2 versus 7, where I'm going with technically the upset with the 7 seed Chargers. The Patriots definitely, they're impressive right now. They definitely could win this matchup here in the playoffs. Vrabel will have them prepared. But why I'm going with the Chargers, they now have that experience. The Patriots young team really does not right now. The Chargers defense is balling out right now. Could be a tough matchup for the young Drake May, even though I'm a huge Drake May guy in this game. And the Patriots will eliminate the run game from the Chargers, but Herbert will still find a way to make plays through the air. I'll go with the Chargers and with the experience. Colts versus Bills. I'm going to trust the Bills here. The Colts, I don't think will be playing as well by this time as they did earlier in the year. I think there'll be more of a game plan where it's a tough challenge, but slow the run game down, make it uncomfortable for Daniel Jones. And their defense is solid. It's not I don't think they'll really stop Josh Allen, the Bills here. I'm going to trust Buffalo. And then Ravens versus Broncos would be a big one. 4 versus 5. I'm going to trust Baltimore. In Baltimore with that potential weather here. Again, that's the big factor here. If this was in Denver, that's why it's key for the Broncos to win that AFC West. You got to win a game against the Chiefs. Try to get home field advantage here, because that is the difference in a game like this, because typically we're used to the Ravens having the better defense in a matchup like this. The Broncos have the better defense. They should be a little healthier then as well. And they might be able to move the ball enough against Baltimore's defense, but the experience of the Ravens at home in the cold, as they're getting better and better and better right now, I have to trust Baltimore. So we have Chiefs versus Chargers, Bills versus Ravens, some good matchups. And I was back and forth on this Bills versus Ravens matchup. I could see it going either way. I think both teams will be better in the playoffs than they are playing right now. But I like the way the Ravens are heating up. We're finally seeing them healthy, and they're playing better and better and better on both sides of the ball. There's still room for improvement. They could get a little healthier as the year goes on. The Bills could get a little healthier too. You do kind of worry about injuries popping up for Milano, Joey Bosa. You do worry about that a little bit. I hate how they're so inconsistent, especially with the receiver play. They're kind of relying on the run game being there. So Baltimore, These games been weird between these two teams. Some fluky things happen. It's kind of whoever gets a little luckier wins the game, so they're pretty tough to predict. In Baltimore, in this scenario, they're getting better right now. They could surprise a lot of people in the playoffs. I'll pick them. And then Chiefs-Chargers, I'm going to trust the Chiefs at home in this one. The better team at home. The Chargers been a little banged up. They could be a little sloppy at times. I think Kansas City off this bye right now as I'm talking here heading into week 11. They're really going to ramp it up, get going, get Rashee Rice going even more. He's already been getting going. So I'm going to trust them. Chiefs versus Ravens, AFC title game. And I'm definitely going to trust Kansas City in that one. The Ravens, that could be their ceiling. Maybe it's already bold enough having them go that far. It could be Buffalo. It could be, the Patriots are good enough right now, to go there. But I trust the Chiefs. I think the AFC is pretty deep. I just think it's kind of that one team at the top in terms of playoff contender football. But maybe the Chiefs continue to slip up. They're a little inconsistent right now, but I think they'll figure it out. I'm going to trust the Chiefs to get to that Super Bowl this year based off my predictions right now in Week 11. My Super Bowl matchup, Rams versus Chiefs. And maybe I'm oddly confident. I'm pretty confident with these teams right now in Week 11. Things could change. But making it to the Super Bowl, they are that good, that balanced. I think catastrophic injury is really the only thing that could stop them. Rams, Chiefs, two teams that are very capable of winning the Super Bowl this year. Other teams are capable as well. My prediction, I'm going with the LA Rams here. I love their balance. I love the NFC. The NFC feels a little better than the AFC right now. The Chiefs they're going to get better. They're going to start rolling, but there's times where the defense slips up a little more than the past. There's times where the offense slips up a little bit more, a little inconsistent. The Rams are full go, super consistent. Matthew Stafford is playing his best, which is wild right now. The addition of Devontae Adams, guys like Poona Ford on defense as well, the young guys, just so significant. The offense is lights out. The defense is playing as it's good as it's been playing. The run defense is a step up. That was a problem last year, so I love the additions. I love the improvements, the fixes that they made. You hope, you pray this team can stay healthy because they've had that issue in the past. In a season that features more injuries than ever across the league, they're fairly healthy right now. Look at those receivers. They got to stay a little more. Puka injuries popped up. I know Adams dealing with the back right now. Other than that, man, it's been fairly solid for the Rams. So I hope that everyone stays as healthy as they possibly can. I'm going to roll with the Rams right now. Been rolling with that for the last few weeks. So we'll continue that. Big game against Seattle this week. That won't change anything, the outcome of that game, but it is a pretty significant game here. I think the more significant one will be when they match up later in the year. So that'll be fun. But yeah, that'll do it for my current predictions. Let me know your predictions if you want to give me all the seedings and or just the AFC NFC Championship matchups in the Super Bowl. Let me know in the comments. It'll be really cool to see. We got weekly coverage here at the Goat House covering the NFL. So join us, like, subscribe to notifications on. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.